Welcome to OnlyBounce. Today's topic is student loans. You hear a lot about student loans on the news, students having to pay back hundreds of thousands, but these tend to be American students. As all things considered, the system in England is much fairer to the students, who on average accumulate around £50,000 in student loan debt. This still seems like a lot, right? Well, according to some statistics, the reality is only 25% of students will actually pay it all back. And now we're going to break down why. Before we get into it, we're focusing our advice for full-time students who started their course on or after the 1st of September 2012. This is because you're on Repayment Plan 2, meaning you'll pay back 9% of everything you earn over a £26,575 salary. This is taken out of your paycheck alongside tax, national insurance, and any pension contributions you might make, which we recommend you do. You'll start your repayments the April after you graduate. So if you graduate in July 2021, you'll start repayments in April 2022. Until you start making any repayments, so basically whilst you're still studying until the following April, you'll be charged interest on your loan at a rate of 3% plus the RPI, which is the Retail Price Index. RPI is basically the rate of inflation. For exact figures, you can search UK RPI history. However, it typically averages between 1 and 3%. So whilst you are studying, you can expect to have between 4 and 6% interest added onto your loan. When you start making payments, so in that example, in April 2022, your interest rate will be the minimum of inflation, depicted as 2.4% on this screenshot from Student Finance England. Now, that's a lot of information to take in, so here's an example. Imagine you're on a £30,000 salary and you make the bare minimum payments. You can expect to pay this much in tax and this much in national insurance. Then, every year, you'll be paying off £308 towards your student loan. Now, £308 out of the £50,000 you owe, which is before any interest was added. How would you ever pay it off? Well, like I said earlier, only 25% of students will, meaning that 75% of students won't actually pay off their loans. Student loans in England are wiped 30 years after you make your first payment, so after April 2052, you will cease to make payments. It'll all be cleared. And if you do happen to die before your 30 years are up, don't worry about passing the loan on to your children, as again, they will clear your loan. We do understand that people see it as a form of debt and they're not comfortable with it, so if you do choose to pay it back early, bear in mind that there are no fees for doing so. If you know you'll be a high-income earner, part of the 25% who would pay it back, you'll save paying extra money in interest by paying it back early, as you're pretty sure you're going to pay it back regardless. Paying student loans back early is very much something to consider on an individual basis, so by using websites such as studentloancalculator.co.uk, you'll be able to find what works best for you. We've left a link in the description. For those looking to move countries after graduating, we understand that it's currently a grey area, but we'd advise you to continue making your student loan repayments, as there is more and more incentive for the UK government to crack down on those who move abroad to avoid paying their student loans. And just a quick note, student loans aren't put on your credit file. Lenders will only know if you have student loans if they ask on their application forms, which is likely only going to be when you apply for a mortgage. So there we are, we've gone through how student loans and repayments are calculated. Make sure you check whether it would be worth paying it back early, or if paying the minimum would work out best for you. Obviously, it's hard to predict your income for the next 30 years, but it's fair to assume a 2 to 3% salary growth each year, which is pre-included in the calculator. And remember, here at OnlyPounds, our mission is to expose our young people to financial education. We are not your financial advisors, and it is up to you to continue researching the best options for you. We do our best to provide information you can look into and build upon, using your best judgment. Catch you guys soon.